Yeah. Huh. Trumpets blare a golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder shake the hall. Oh. Royal robe, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. Crown me. Going up and going music. So rude you think you shot a new it. Wars fought for nothing, push it, do it. Yeah. Cause it's what I roll for. Bury through the mission's roar. Wonder when I even know. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. And crown me. And crown me. And crown me. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. And crown me.
Yeah, crown me king. What's up? What's good? What's popping? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and we live on a Friday night as I am jet lagged coming back from Japan. I've been back in the States for about 2 nights now, and my sleep schedule is all jacked up. So I said, you know what? To get back into the swing of things with my live streaming and content creation stuff that I have going on, I'm just going to go live and talk about what's been going on since I've been back and things that have happened over the last couple of days. Man, we got icons and celebrities dying left and right. Y'all know I'm in the crypto game, and crypto is starting to take off again. It's over like a $4 trillion market cap. There's been regulations that have been passed in the United States regarding regulatory framework for crypto, and life's just been lifing. So for I don't know, a good little bit tonight, I'm just gonna go live, talk about random things, and get me back into the habit of my live stream here. So it's a Friday night. Anybody that pops in, say what's up. Let me know that you're tuning into the live stream, and we'll just kind of go from there. Let me see. It looks like I've got a comment here already, and it is a bot. So let me DOS boot you. How do I DOS boot you? I can't DOS boot you. Whatever. It is what it is. All right. So, let's see what to talk about first. Let's just talk about what's been going on here. All right, lately, just in life and things that are hitting the internet airwaves. There's this app out there called the T app, and apparently, this app is designed for ladies to come on and talk about men that they're either in a relationship with, or very similar to if you're out of the dating market and you've been out of the dating market for a while, none of what I'm about to say is anything that you might not even be aware with or what's going on. And it really didn't have to just do with dating. It's just about who you are as a person in general. There were these groups that started, "Are we dating the same person?" And a lot of these private Facebook groups will highlight people that are out there stepping out on people, right? So this T app that just recently got launched, it's not like it's anything new, but it's an app in which ladies can come on and basically give Yelp reviews of men. And it's interesting because in order to be a registered user, you have to be a lady. You can't be a guy, right? You have to be a lady, and it's starting controversy already. But it's not like it's anything new. There have been apps that have been created or websites. Man, off the top of my head, I can't think of any to bring up as an example. But it was basically websites that you could go on and you could give reviews about men, like trash individuals. Well, this one that I'm thinking about wasn't just about men in general. It was just about people and folks that would do shady and dirty stuff to try to warn folks. Because if you don't know, there's a lot of shady people out there. There are some fantastic people and some great people, but there are also some shady people as well. Let's see. Shout out to Chris Lansford over on Facebook. He said, "Hey, bro, headed to see my grandfather's tombstone at Arlington, leaving in the morning. You're gonna not be too far from me, man. Um, what's your schedule looking like, Chris? Send me a message in the DM. I understand that you've got some stuff going on, and you'll be seeing your grandfather. I didn't have any plans for tomorrow, but if you're gonna be out this way and you've got some time, I might be able to link up. I'm jet lagged. So it's one of those things is I don't know if I'm going to be up during the daytime or at nighttime. Because right now in Japan, let me see if I still have the world clock set for this. It's like if it's 11 o'clock, almost midnight here, then it's 13 hours ahead the other way. I don't know if I'm going to be asleep or awake tomorrow, but let me know what your schedule's looking like, man. And if you're willing, we might have time to link up. Don't hold me to that though. But it's good that you're going to see your grandfather. Let's see on Sunday. All right. Yeah, if you have enough time, dude, I'm willing to pull that off for you. So shoot me a message in Facebook Messenger and we can make that happen for certain. Like it might be a quick what up and just kind of check in type situation. But yeah, man, I'll do that. I'll do that on Sunday for sure. Um, but the T app. So it's starting to cause some controversy already. There's been people that with similar apps and stuff in the past, the reason why this hasn't been something that's already popular is you're in danger for defamation stuff, right? Like, how do you control what's said about you? Now, there are laws to protect you in case people do decide to defame you. Now, what is defamation? I want to bring up, let's see, what's the definition? Like, how do you legally prove defamation? How do you prove defamation? Okay. And we're gonna bring up one of the best things out there, Chat GPT. So my Chat GPT lawyer says to prove defamation, you typically need to establish the following elements in court. The exact requirements may vary depending on your jurisdiction, whether it's your state or local court. But in the US, it includes a false statement of facts. For example, King Smith stole money if untrue, could be defamatory. I think King is shady is likely an opinion and not defamatory. And opinions and jokes are not used, cannot usually be defamatory. Only false statements of facts can be, which a lot of people want to put I feel statements. I feel like XYZ. I feel like this person, blah, blah, blah. Feelings have to be proven. It's not something that just because you feel some way, it doesn't mean that it's true. Okay. Publication to a third party is another thing. A false statement was communicated to someone else, even if it was just one person. And this can include spoken, which is slander, or written and posted libel statements. A third thing that needs to be present is fault, negligence, or actual malice, which you have to prove. And it gives an example of the speaker was at fault in making a false statement. And then damages. The statement that you use for a defamatory statement must have caused harm to your reputation, finances, or emotional well-being. So you have to prove that. And it says here some statements are considered defamation per se and are presumed damaging, like accusing someone of having committed a crime or having a disease, right? If you come out here, you say so and so got STDs just because they've been sleeping with other people and not you, and you don't want people to sleep with that person, they can take you to court for defamation. Okay. Now, even if you prove all of the above damages, fault, publication to a third party, and a false statement of facts, you still have to have elements of truth in it as well. It has to be truth. Okay. Uh, there are certain things that can make you immune, like statements made in court or legislation sessions, which is what saves a lot of our politicians uh, can't be used for defamation. And then it gives an example case breakdown. King Smith got kicked out of the military for stealing funds. This is an example. I was not kicked out of the military for stealing funds. But to prove defamation in that statement, the statement would have to be false, published somewhere, made with fault, and cause harm. Okay. So if this was a Facebook post that somebody didn't fact check, and people stop doing business with me because of this false statement, then I could take that person to court for defamation. This is why a law degree is important. And Chat GPT is the equivalent of having a lawyer in your back pocket. God happened to me said, "Oh, you live. 100%, baby. I am live. If you could do me a favor, let me see if I can scroll this on the screen. If there's a like button on your platform, do me a favor and hit that like button for your boy. Help me out on the algorithms. Let people know that I'm live at midnight on a Friday." So the T app is going to be one of those things that I'm curious what's going to come from this, how long it's going to be a thing, if the designers of the application or the creators of the application are going to be profitable with this thing or not. It can be. People love drama. People love drama. People love seeing other people in misery. Misery loves company, all of that jazz. So I'm here for it. I like my drama on TV and not in my life. So I'm definitely curious to see what's going to go on with that. Michelle early said, "Hey, handsome, hey, baby," with the purple heart. Nice. What else has happened? Let's see. When I was in Japan, iconic actor Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away at the age of 54, and some of the details of that has came out. He was on vacation with his family. Him and his, I think, 8-year-old kid or one of his young daughters were in a pretty dangerous current area of the water, and he died while his kid lived. And that's one of the ultimate sacrifices that you can make as a parent, is to sacrifice your life so that your child may live. So that family's going through some devastation right now. And some of the interesting things that came out of that was, while he's currently married to his now widow, he was in prior relationships, and a lot of people that liked him as an actor, may not necessarily known him in person or knew him personally, would put up like a rest in peace, and then another actress that passed away a long time ago as they were in a relationship. And there was some interesting viewpoints about that because people are like, you do know he had a whole wife, right? And you're making this post about a previous love that he had and not the current relationship that he was in. So it was one of those things that I thought was interesting as it came out. A lot of people felt like they knew Malcolm Jamal Warner. He came up on the Cosby Show and things like that. Shout out to Trayvon over on Kick. Kick is starting to pop off. Kick is starting to grow. Let's see. And he said, rap battle. Man, I can't rhyme. My name is King. I do things. Nah, you don't want me in a rap battle. You would win that 10 times out of 10, brother. But I appreciate you popping in over on Twitch. Let me see if I can put that up on the screen here. Rap battle. We got to fix my stream. Man, this is an impromptu stream. This is normally not what I do. This is normally not my format. I just got back from a 2-week trip from Japan, and I just wanted to just get back into the streaming thing. So this is my first stream in about 2 weeks. But I appreciate you popping in. I got no chat on the screen. I can put it up. I can put it up on the screen. I don't have that capability right now. I'm using okay, I'm not using OBS, but I appreciate the feedback. Thanks for tuning in. Malcolm Jamal Warner. See how I'm able to get back on track? Malcolm Jamal Warner is somebody that if you're a certain culture, let me say it like that, then you know who he is. You're familiar with his work. If you are 80s baby like me and you grew up watching the Cosby Show, his character Theo Huxtable was definitely somebody that you were aware of. And he's done a lot of different projects and things as an actor from there. He was also a musician. Some people didn't know that he played different musical instruments. He was somebody in the arts and by all accounts, a pretty positive person. Couldn't necessarily find anybody say a bad thing about him, as you'll hear from Hulk Hogan and some of the other people who've also recently passed away as well. So that news hit people because if you die of old age, that's one thing. But if you die at a younger age and in a tragic situation, then that hits different. Like that's a whole different feeling. And to be on vacation too, tragic. Michelle says, should I eat oatmeal now or do my dinner? So Michelle early over on Facebook traveled with me to Japan as well. So her sleep schedule is jacked up just like mine. If you feeling hungry, eat. You don't have to finish the whole bowl. I had my dinner that we got earlier, which was my lunch. I just finished that right before I went live. So yeah, it is what it is. Legendary frontman Ozzy Osbourne passed away as well. And that was something that he lived a good life. He was not just a musician, but he was famous for having a reality TV show late in life as well that showcased him and his wife and their family. And with him, I couldn't necessarily find a lot of bad things about him as well. He was known for living a fast rock and roll type life. And the part that was interesting about his news was I saw somebody compare the fact that he lived longer than Richard Simmons, and Richard Simmons lived a healthy life, preaching about exercise and clean, good eating, whereas Ozzy Osbourne's probably allegedly have done a lot of different drugs and things, you know, late nights, partying, doing the whole music thing. Towards the last couple of years of his life, his health wasn't the best. And he was diagnosed with a couple of different things that typically when you get some of these diagnoses that he had, you don't live that long after the diagnosis. And that with a combination of his age and things. Look, he still made it to almost 80. So he lived a good life. All right. Let's see. Michelle said in his death, he had 5 biological kids and one adopted kid that he adopted his former wife's child. And again, I didn't hear a lot of bad things about Ozzy Osbourne, but the trifecta and the last person that's died recently that was definitely a US icon. I wouldn't say international the way that Ozzy Osbourne was. Like Malcolm Jamal Warner, if you didn't follow the Cosby Show or any of the shows that he had major roles in, then you would necessarily be familiar with him, right? Folks in Japan might not know who Malcolm Jamal Warner is, but they might not, but they might know who Ozzy Osbourne is, especially if they follow rock. Like music is one of those things that culturally can cross different culture areas and make somebody relevant, and it don't matter what country that you're from. Hulk Hogan is a was a wrestler who also passed away recently as well. And Hulk Hogan died, let's see, born Terry Bollea. All right. His professional name was known as Hulk Hogan. That's what he was billed at. Even when he retired, people that intimately knew him might have called him Terry, but everybody called him Hulk Hogan. He died July 24th, so about 2 days ago, and he lived to be 71. Now, his death had been interesting with the way that people talked about it because Hulk Hogan himself, as the wrestling icon, captured, people's hearts and things like that, and was a great stage performer. But the man, Terry, and some of his personal opinions and things landed him in hot water. Landed him in hot water. And it really depends on the lens that you want to look at that from, how you would even view him as a person, right? There's videos that when Young Jeezy, who's a black rapper, came out, there's videos of Hulk Hogan playing Young Jeezy's CD. Like, this is how long ago this was, and that this was in a truck with a CD. And he was, jamming to it, and he really liked it. But then you'll talk to some people and they'll say, oh, based on his views and all of this stuff, like Hulk Hogan hated black people. And it's like, that might be a stretch. That might be a stretch. Okay. Did he say some things that made me go WTF? Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. But to say that he hated black people, which is what's been said in certain forms, I would challenge that a bit. I liked Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, and what he did with WCW and WWE. I thought the Hulk Hogan character was entertaining. I don't know much about the person in real life, Terry Bollea, to say if I would have been friends with him or not. I don't think so, being that we're from different generations. And some of the things that I've heard him say weren't things that I necessarily align with values wise, but there's no denying his impact on the his impact on wrestling and things like that. So those were, it seemed like Malcolm Jamal Warner's came out the blue. Ozzy Osbourne's is not surprising. And then Hulk Hogan, there were some rumors that came out about his health fairly recently. So then to learn that he passed away wasn't necessarily a surprise either. But at least he made it to 70, almost to the overtime years of life. If you're new to following me, I say, hey, the first 20 years is the first quarter, the next 20 is the second quarter, 60 to 40 to 60 is third quarter, 60 to 80 is the fourth quarter of life. And if you can live to be over 80, then you've got overtime years. Okay. So let me see. God Happened to Me said that the wrestler was great. Okay. But let's see, respectfully, I think people believe that if one is closely aligned to President 47, that they are racist. And then there were some musicians who unfortunately passed away this week too. Yes, there was. There was. Let's see. I want to cover that real quick. I'm not into Chuck Mangione. Chuck Mangione. Let's see. Passed away of, was it cancer? Let's see. I mean, old age, I guess. He was 84 years old. Um, but legendary composer and musician who's released over 30 albums in his career, died July 22nd. And a lot of people that are in the music space and people that recognize his contributions to music and to jazz and everything came out and they gave condolences to Chuck as well. His 1977 single "Feel So Good" that came off of an album of the same name reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. The album peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Albums chart in 1978. All right. Let's see. So yeah, so there was Chuck. Am I missing anybody else, Michelle? Was there anybody else that passed away besides Ozzy Osbourne and Chuck? I think that's it. That covers everybody. Um, y'all know that I'm into crypto, and crypto's starting to look like a really good investment for me over time. I used to do morning crypto with King live streams shortly after COVID, like 2020, 2021 time frame. And I made a shift from that mainly because while it was doing great for me, once the dip started happening, people were panicking and a lot of folks sold. I did some panic selling early on as well, but I kept my money into some others. And by doing that, I've got some pretty nice percentage gains over time for those that I believe in long term. I wasn't an early believer in Bitcoin, but I was following the news on what people thought about Bitcoin. And now Bitcoin is sitting somewhere around 115,000 per Satoshi. Let me go to a crypto aggregator here and see. Yeah, so Bitcoin's at around 117,000 right now per Bitcoin, which is insane when you think about this. Because when I take a look at this, and let me put this up on the screen here. How can I do this? Because I'm streaming a different way here. Let's see. There were 5 musicians that passed away. All right, if you could bring those up, I'll be sure to highlight them when it comes up here. Shout out to Jason Washington's in the building and for popping up. Hey, appreciate you, Jay. We got a chat, man. I have not forgotten. I'm going to give you a ring here sometime over the weekend. So if you go back 3 months on Bitcoin, Bitcoin in August got up to 94,000. I'm gonna take the chart out a year, and over a year ago, the lowest that it got to was around 50, looks like 53K per Bitcoin. So now we're at 100% gain over that in just under a year. And there were several people, Bitcoin will never get 100,000. Bitcoin will never get 100,000. A good friend of mine, Mike CQ, was one of the people that said that. And I'm like, bro, people said Bitcoin wouldn't get 10,000 when it was a couple of hundred per Bitcoin. And I had heard about Bitcoin a long time ago, but I just didn't believe in it. And I remember writing down, because I have this thing that I love to prove CQ wrong. And on September 6th of 2022, I'm looking at it in my phone now. He said Bitcoin will never hit the high that it once was. And this was said again September of 2022. So around that time, Bitcoin was 19,000 per Bitcoin. Oh my goodness. And at the high, so when he said this at the high in 2021, when crypto just had a massive run, Bitcoin got up to like 67,000 per Bitcoin. So then when he made this statement, crypto was down, like everything was down overall. So I told him, I said, bro, I got into and had an understanding of, or at least heard about Bitcoin when it was around 400 per Bitcoin. This was like 2020, sorry, 2016, 2016, 2017 is when I heard about it. And Bitcoin was around 500 per Bitcoin at the time. And I knew how to get it. I just didn't take steps to do it. And that's one of the things, hindsight being 2020, that I'm kicking my ass over right now. So he made that thing. I should have bet him on it. Because shortly afterwards, Bitcoin started to rise. It kept going and it kept going. It peaked at about the 67 in 2024, dipped a little bit, but never went under 50, and has been above, let's see, 80 something thousand per Bitcoin since March of 2025. So I'm a believer in cryptocurrency now. And with the way that cryptocurrency is um being going through different regulations and stuff, you've got banks, you've got businesses and global entities about to get into this. I think you're an idiot if you don't at least have any kind of capital put into cryptocurrencies. Now, exactly what cryptocurrencies? I'm not going to tell you you should definitely get Bitcoin. I'm not going to tell you you should definitely get certain ones. I'm going to tell you what I have and what I believe in. Bitcoin, I am not a Bitcoin believer. XRP, H bar, and I'm still a believer in SHIB. Although SHIB is starting to make me wane a bit because there's been a lot of sideways and no progress. Jason said, I'm king idiot. um, then yeah, you if there are people that say I'm not gonna, do crypto, I'll just stay in stocks or whatever. At least you're invested in something. All right. Because I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about 2029, 2030, 2035, and beyond. And if I was somebody that got into Bitcoin when it was here, I don't know if y'all can see my mouse on the screen. 10 years ago, so let's go back to 2015. If you knew how to get your hands on Bitcoin when Bitcoin was, let me see if I could find late July, 286 per Bitcoin to now where it's 117,000. If you were to not have paper hands and just held that entire time and then, decided that over 100K was your out point, then you're solid. You could have spent $1,200. Now, hold on, let me see. So go back here. Let's see. You could have been spent 6 grand and turned that 6 grand into a cool million, waiting just 10 years. Not a lot of people have that patience. I know a lot can happen in 10 years. I'll say if you do decide to take profit along the way, that's great. But I'm looking at 2030 and 2035 with Bitcoin, with XRP, with H bar. Once nations, which some nations have already done, start buying into cryptocurrency and putting their money in there, and you see these inflows of money coming into various cryptocurrencies, then I think it can change your life. It has changed the lives of some people already. It's somewhat changed my life so far, but I still think it's early. If I go back here to the overall market cap, the overall market cap is at 3.94. And if you go back and you take a look, the overall market cap, and that's 3.94 trillion, right? It was under 2 trillion. Let's see. It was under 2 trillion the last time in 2021. So I think given more time, you're gonna see more money around cryptocurrency, and this is the global market cap. Um, and it can change your life. And if you're not in it, don't say nobody didn't tell you anything. Let's see. God happened to me did list the other people. So Connie Francis, who was a singer and actress. I'm not familiar with Connie Francis. Connie Francis. Let me look up Connie Francis. Let me stop this. Stop sharing. Uh, Connie Francis. Oh yeah. Like I'm good with seeing names or whatnot. Iconic pop singer that was known for her hit "Pretty Little Baby." Passed away at 87. She lived a good long life. Hopefully, she was healthy for most of it, but she passed away in South Florida. Hulk Hogan was also in South Florida. But that's where people go to retire. They go to Florida to retire. I'm trying to go to Florida and still live, though. All right. So Connie Francis, thank you, God happened to me for posting that as well. Shout out to Pete. Pete said, "Hey, brother. Hey, Pete. Good to see you, man." Pete and I chatted a little bit before I went live today. So it was good to kind of catch up with him. Said, happy they let me back in the country. Happy they let me back in as well, my man. You know, but if they didn't and told me that I had to stay in Japan, I wouldn't be too mad. I would not be too mad. What you gonna do today, brother? And that was a horrible Hulk Hogan impersonation, but I tried, Jay. I tried. Let's see. Jason said, I saw too many people lose their mind and money playing with crypto. Look, if you got in at that 2021 high, then you're likely mad right now because depending on what you got in, you probably lost money. I did not lose money. Like I lost in some, don't get me wrong, but because my XRP play has done well, um I stuck with that one just on strong conviction because of what was going on with the lawsuit between Ripple and the US. And once that settled favorably for Ripple, I saw XRP as something that was just going to just explode and do well. So I just anytime I had an extra $5, $10, $15, I was buying XRP when it was 48 cents per XRP. And now that shit's sitting at what, $3 per XRP? We go over here and look it up. Let's see. Let's get back here. XRP is now the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap, and it is sitting at $3.15 per. And I was buying it just spending $5 at a time, $10, $20, sometimes $100, maybe even more, just accumulating and accumulating and accumulating over the last 4 years, right? And if you would have been in it when it first came out, your investment would have basically multiplied by 534, a 53,000% gain over a year, 418%. It was under $1 in September, October timeframe, and then shot up to over $1 once the SEC court thing wrapped up late 2024, and it hasn't been under $1 since. Matter of fact, it's been over $2 pretty much since then. So if you accumulated a crap ton over that time period, you're happy right now. But others didn't do so well. There were a lot of different rug pulls and things that occurred where people lost a significant amount of money, and that's a little bit of gambling. I lost money on things that I recommended to people as well that I thought were sure things, like Saitama, that ended up being a scam. Terra Luna had a huge collapse, but I had a pretty significant chunk of capital in that ended up going down about 90% before I eventually pulled out of it. It happens, but I'm up overall, and it's because of things like XRP. H bar, and Bitcoin, then I'm still up overall. So if you're in those and you just accumulated over time, then you're doing well. But if you threw big money into some of those other gambles, then you aren't doing well. Let's see. Jay said, I ain't invested in nothing. I'm holding this retirement money like it's a cure for cancer. You look like somebody that would just squirrel money just because. I ain't putting this nowhere but in my hands. Salute. Let's see. Let me know if I'm down to do a quick talk about Hulk Hogan. Okay. Let me see. You know what, Jay? Let me do this. I'm gonna put the link to join in. Can I do WhatsApp? Yeah, I'm gonna send it to myself. I'm gonna send it to myself. So I don't want to put it publicly. And if you want to talk about Hulk Hogan, man, then come up. So give me a second to do this. I'm gonna do it live. And we're gonna get you up because I know you likely have a very different take on Hulk Hogan, and I'm interested. So let me get this out to you. Check your WhatsApp. I'm about to send you the link now. And then however you join is how you join from there. But let me go to WhatsApp and let me get this in for you and get you on. Oh no, that didn't send right. Why is this not proper? Hold up. Copy. Just try that. Try that and see if it works. Try that and see if it works. If not, then I can send it to you through Messenger over here. Let me do that just in case. I'm gonna send it to you as a backup. All right, so you got it in 2 locations or not because it won't send. Well, hmm. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This is a one-man show over here, so give me a second. All right, I'll look for the chat and see if you were able to get that. Check your WhatsApp because it's not coming through your Facebook Messenger. You said that you're ready. All right, great. Gotta happen to me said so. Florida's still in the running. Florida is never not out. If Ron and Juan leave the state, I really don't have a reason to go there. Hey, Jay is in the building. All right. And then said, is Ron watching? Is that why you're saying that? Ha ha ha. Look, Florida's still a thing. It is still a thing, but we got my main man all the way from Germany. What the funk is this? Is in the building. What up, pimp?
How you living, Cliff?
Hey man, I'm doing good. I am doing good. So Hulk Hogan, man, I talked about him a little bit earlier. I said that I liked the wrestler, but not necessarily the person. What you got?
Okay, let's do an exercise. We'll be really quick, okay? But
All right.
please just try to answer the questions that I ask, okay?
All right.
All right, let's do this. Okay. The argument is that Hulk Hogan is racist, correct?
Yes.
That's what you're saying mostly with the trolling online and the memes, and that's pretty much the narrative. He's racist. We shouldn't even mourn his passing.
Correct.
Okay.
That's the narrative.
Okay. He's from an era in the 70s and 80s, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Heavy on steroids at the time, more than likely, in his field of entertainment, correct?
Yes. Hey, pause. For people that are hearing him, if he's coming in chopped, let me know because he
Oh,
sounds chopped on my side. So I don't know if you want to maybe try go out, come back in, but it's
I
kind of
will.
choppy. Okay.
Give me 1 second. How choppy was it?
I'm bad.
Very choppy. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, let me come back and try again. 1 second.
All right. So yeah, if y'all are watching and listening. Let me know what he sounded like to y'all, because to me it was choppy. I was able to make out what he was saying, but overall, long term, I don't think that would sound good. So I'm gonna get him to come back in. But let me know what cryptos that y'all are in. SHIB, HBAR, XRP, Bitcoin. Those are my top 4. And I've got several others that I'm still looking at. XDC is another one. Let me just pull up my different accounts that I have here. XDC's one. Can you join from Facebook? Like you call from Facebook and then I have that on the screen? I don't think so. I'm not set up to do it that way. I'm not set up that you could do it that way. I can send you the link, and let me see about doing that. Copy link, and then let me find your name here. Jason, and then post. I sent the link over to Facebook Messenger. But if you're saying like join, like calling in from Facebook, no, I don't have it set up that way. Shout out to Anthony Tristan over on Twitch said, "Hi, what up?" Hey, look, I'm glad people are showing up from Twitch and kicking some of these other platforms. All right, so let me see if I can do this now. We got What the Funk back in. Hey, Jay.
Yes.
Yo,
Am I
Jay.
choppy?
No, that is a lot clear. Your audio is fantastic.
Okay. All right. Do I need to do the last few questions again, or did it come through clear enough? Not really.
Start over.
Damn it. Okay. Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. Now, Hulk Hogan, he's being deemed as a racist. That's the narrative on the internet. We shouldn't mourn his death because he is a said racist. Correct?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. Now, he's from an era in the 80s, correct, where he had extreme power and at the same time was abusing steroids.
Yes.
Okay. He's been in a position where he's been top of the world, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, men of that era who have that sort of power and men who don't, it's one thing to say that you're racist because you degrade a group of people or you think a certain way about a group of people. But all of that changes when you pair it with having sexual intercourse with their daughter. I don't think you can connect the dot to racism if somebody is saying something and what they feel in a safe space and it's referring about having sex with said person from another race. I
Correct.
honestly believe that most men in general, black, white, Asian, Indian, it doesn't matter. When you start to speak about or present the idea of their daughter having sexual intercourse with a person from another race, more than 90% are, when they're in their safe space of friends and surroundings of their own color and people who are their yes men, are going to speak in a way that probably seems racist to that said race.
I
Whether
raised
you're
my
white,
hand. I've done
okay,
it. I've done
we have all done it. So that was my argument with somebody yesterday because they were like, well, he's racist and he's a Trump supporter. And I was like, what? And I asked this, and I'll ask you the same question.
Okay.
What white celebrity do you think has never said something racist before?
See, I don't know these people personally.
I'm just saying, can just
Who's that?
especially if someone of that stature in that era who had that sort of power and probably abuse, their brain is drug fueled. It was the time.
Mhm.
What white celebrity from that era do you think has not said something that is deemed racist?
Yeah, it would be difficult for me to be able to try to name a name off the top of my head for sure, because you're talking about the way people grew up then being a lot different as well.
And it was a racist era in the 80s.
Yes.
It's
So
how we talked.
yes, now to catch people up, what Jay's bringing up and what he's talking about is the people that are slamming Hulk Hogan was a leaked tape that was leaked sometime around. It was after I moved to Maryland, around 2015 to 2016. There was
It
a
was exactly 10
conversation.
years ago. The death, him dying, was actually the anniversary of that tape being released. 10-year
Yes,
anniversary.
and the tape came out about 10 years before that. It was a recording from like 2005 or 2006 in which he used the N word, hard R though. It wasn't the NIGGA that you would hear rappers talk about on rap lyrics and stuff, about their homies. No, it was the hard R that was used multiple times, talking about his daughter who was dating a black man. And that's one of the main reasons why people kind of changed their opinion on him, was because of what was said during that leaked tape. Now, Jay, I agree with you. I agree with you. How you talk in private amongst people that know you and things like that is definitely different than how you would talk in public. 100%, right? And private conversations that are never meant for public consumption, uh you're a lot more looser with what you say, because like I said, I will raise my hand, and man, there are things that I've said in private that if it came out public, I know would cause some issues.
Exactly.
So
So I think
to
we're
your
all putting,
argument, I can go with that.
we're being very hypocritical, as we're putting him on a pedestal of an idol, which we shouldn't have done, because we're now holding him to a president that we ourselves cannot have not achieved and don't want to achieve.
Yeah.
Therefore, and that means we never mourn anybody. That means anyone who passes away is not worth mourning if they've had a racist comment.
Hmm.
That's the barometer we're setting. And then that also means that anybody who is any man who has said something from that era that's deemed maybe just racist or big, he shouldn't be mourned either. We're setting a precedent that is going to, I believe, hurt men, because I don't think that any women passing away would get this sort of, you know, I think this is all a thing where it's like we are putting ourselves in a martyr system. And
Mhm.
no matter what we do or say, somebody could go back into our past and find something we've said and say, oh, he's not worth mourning, he said this, he's not worth even bringing up because he said it. And the way the internet is connected now, it's going to be very easy to label somebody racist from something they've said in
Oh,
their
yeah.
past. If you want to bring it with anybody who passes away, there will always be somebody who can find something that says we shouldn't even mourn him because they've said this. That's not a good president to have. And I think that we need to shut that shit down and have the conversation about, we're human beings. We have all said things that have hurt somebody before, been deemed racist or deemed we've all done it, man and woman. And for you to try to put yourself on a pedestal and think I haven't, that's throwing stones in a glass house.
So are you saying that private mistakes don't necessarily reflect somebody's public character?
I think a public character doesn't reflect who they are in the first place. The public character is the facade.
Mhm.
So if you've idolized the facade more than that person's human being, that's your fault. You're not supposed to make these people your idols. I'm not the most Christian person in the world, but I can see that we have made too many idols in our what we call as entertainment. And when they fall short of this ideology that we put them on, we forget their humanity.
Yeah.
Same thing with Chris Benoit. Everyone loved him until he dealt with the consequences of him entertaining us. And then when his brain turns to putty and pudding, we can't connect the dots and say maybe his brain was not in the right place, and that's why he did what he did. No, make him a monster. We don't talk about him anymore, even though he gave his life and sacrificed his wife and son because of that, of him trying to entertain us. But now we monster, instead of seeing the humanity in that. Yes, he did a horrible thing, but that was not who he was. His brain was mush from more than an NFL player. People don't even really they don't even care to look of how his brain was truly destroyed. So
And
logically speaking, that makes you make a destroying decision.
And for people that aren't aware, he's talking about the wrestler Chris Benoit, who committed a double murder and suicide by killing his wife, their son, who was 7 or 8
Yeah,
at the
7.
time, and
Yeah,
then I think he hung himself after like the third day or so before people knew what had happened.
yes. People don't want to connect the dots to dissect what the real issue is. They just want to, he's a no, maybe there's a conversation to be had about what he's doing, and we need to take a look at the sport and the aftercare. And, and but they won't have that conversation. They just want to say he's a monster, he's wrong. It's the same thing that they're doing with Hogan. And it's going to be the same thing that someone could do to you. If you pass, somebody could come in, and then all of a sudden that's fucking up your family's mourning process, who are just trying to mourn, and they're trying to defend you to all these trolls, and then they can't get their spirit right. We need to have the conversation and check what we are doing as a society about this. That's all.
Hey, you always bring up different ways of thinking. You're somebody that I'm thankful is a critical thinker, right? You don't just accept what the norm is, you challenge what the norm is to just get people to critically think through something. Whether you agree or disagree isn't what you're trying to do. Like, you're not trying to get people to change their opinion. You're just trying to get people to critically think through what it is that they're doing. And we need more of that. And I thank you for coming on and bringing up your views about that.
Thank you, man. Like I said, even when I had the argument with the people yesterday, I was like, I didn't say that he isn't a racist. I didn't disagree with your point. I'm just trying to walk the conversation, and I'm learning that people who are college graduated are not able to have that conversation because they're so worried that from the questions that they're going to say something that might make me end up being right.
Yeah.
And they won't be intellectually honest. If they ask me any questions, I'll answer them. But I learned that people are purposely avoiding these questions that I ask, and they don't want the conversation. They want the argument, and they want to feel what they feel, and then that's it.
God Happened to Me said that Jay's got a point about idols, and that in general, we elevate celebrities and public figures too much, believing that they are perfect and beyond reproach.
Exactly. And again, one of the few things I remember in the Bible is thou shalt not have false idols. And that is exactly what we have done as a culture. I got a bad memory, but I think I remember a few of the commandments, and when I was a child, that one didn't really make sense to me. I was always curious about it because I understood the other ones. I was like, what does that mean? False idols, false idols. So even as a child, that one commandment always stood out because it made me it piqued my curiosity. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And as I spoke to other people in other cultures and other religions, it all started to connect the dots. And that's when I started really looking at sports, entertainment, all of it, because people will kill over these. You say something bad about Jordan, say something bad about Kobe, people, it will start something because they're idols to them.
Yeah.
So maybe not a good idea.
Bet.
They're just people. Let them be people. You don't want anyone to idolize you
I
and put you
mean,
on some crazy. Yeah,
want to. No, I'm joking.
you really don't want it, man. I was in Atlanta for 2 months. That was probably like the closest I've been to being an idol. That it's not good. That many people liking you, it's not good for you, man.
Why? Why do you say that?
When my papa always said, I'm not going to try to get you canceled. My papa always said, if the majority of black people inside of black culture like you and celebrating you, you're probably doing the wrong things. There's a Mark Twain quote that says, whenever you find yourself aligned with the majority, you need to take a step back and probably align back with the minority. When you are being celebrated, you're probably doing the wrong things. The truth is something that people don't want to be around. So if you're not speaking truth of what you see in the world and what's around you, then people will celebrate you because you're keeping up the matrix. But once you start exposing the truth and wanting to have conversations about things that you actually notice and things that are actually reality, people don't want to be around that. So our culture is full of lies and misconceptions, and our language is Pocahontasism, forked tongues, full of double talk. So if you're celebrated within that realm of English speaking, of double talk and forked tongueness, more than likely you're doing the wrong things for your soul and for your alchemy. He said, be with the minority at all times, in all situations.
Can we cohesively have a society of people that do that, though? Like there has to be a leader in something.
Okay, well, the leader of society is not what the leader of society is supposed to be. The leader of society is supposed to be Mother Earth, but now in her feminine, and us following that and creating nothing but things that prosper Mother Earth. But we've switched it, and now society is it's a masculine entity, more of creation of infrastructure, and not so much of the planet of Mother Earth, but the cancer that's on top of Mother Earth that's the infrastructure we live in. We don't live off the earth; we live off the scourge that we've built and put on the earth. Therefore, those leaders are not leaders, and they should not be. We shouldn't be following them in the first place. So it doesn't matter if everyone thinks how I think. The elites will still make the scourge what it's going to be. I'll take that. And interesting means I'll take that. I just say that if we can't, it's not about not being a leader or not being with the minority or the majority. It's more about when you find yourself being celebrated by a bunch of people, you need to look around and really see if that's where you need to be. The Sopranos, when everyone's laughing and pointing with Tony, and then he gets the realization, like, wait a minute, they're not laughing because they're laughing at me, and that's the realization you'll get when you're in the majority in the majority of people. You'll be, this I'm right, but there's going to be something that makes you realize, wait a minute, this is not the place I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a time in your life where you felt that you were everyone loved you and it was all great and you were the talk of the town? Was there ever a time in your life where you felt that?
No, but I don't think I've done anything extraordinary to have earned it either.
Have you ever seen anyone in your family get that sort of recognition or that sort of, or any friends, any close friends that got everyone was just on a jock, men and women, everyone was just like rocking with them?
Not anybody that I could reach out and touch. No.
Okay. Well, I was asking because if you had known that person, I would have then asked you what they were doing in life. Do you think was something good for their soul, or were they probably more of a facade that was entertaining the masses?
I mean, the closest that I can think of is a good buddy of mine was a blue chip running back. So locally, like where we were from,
Okay.
people had looked at him because I think he was runner up for Mr. Football. I'm not sure if he won it, but in the South,
So this would have been high school,
football,
right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So he was being celebrated by his high school. Oh, that's a perfect example.
Okay.
So as he's being celebrated in Mr. Football, and maybe he's humble with it or maybe he's cocky, it doesn't matter, but he's being celebrated by all those people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he was doing the right thing for his soul, being one, you're playing a sport that at that age where your brain is still developing, and you're not just during the games practice. So many people get their brains affected during practice. That constant bell ringing, bell ringing, bell ringing.
Mhm.
Was he doing something positive in the big picture of his life in that time by doing that? Or was he possibly messing up his brain while it was still developing at an early age? That's a question you should answer. What do you
That-
think?
that's a question for him and how he feels about it.
No, this is a critical. What you know about concussion? You know about. Okay, so at that age and the things that he was doing, do you think that was a base positive for his mental in the long run of his life? Plain and simple. Or was
No,
that just something he did that was getting celebrated at that time that really didn't matter?
well, in the long term, no, right? There are physical ailments. Like football is a young person's game. You can't play it in perpetuity throughout your life, versus something that you could do like being a teacher, you know. So but while he had the ability to do it, I would say, yeah, it was good for him.
Is he experiencing any lingering after effects from that time now? Is he in pain from
Oh,
injury?
likely, yeah. Likely.
Then it was
Highly
likely.
likely.
Then it
Highly
wasn't worth
likely.
it, because now he's living with that pain just because he got that idolization at an early age. I'm very positive if you ask him, he'll say that it wasn't worth it,
Mm.
unless he's still getting paid from the facade of this.
I'll ask him.
You should.
I'll ask him.
In fact, I think you should ask him if he would give his son the same outcome he had growing up,
Okay,
if he has a son.
I'll do that.
All right, there you go. All right. I think you'll get a very enlightening conversation with your friend from doing this.
Bet.
All right.
Do you
And
have
then next time you
anything?
won't. And then next time you won't hit me with the interesting. Yeah. Next time I might get it. All right. That's my goal. Next time I'm gonna get it. All right.
Well, so it takes a minute for me too, because as I'm hearing, like I'm trying to process what it is that you're saying, and then as I'm doing that, I'm thinking about the different branches that could come from that. So a lot of times my interesting is me really thinking, oh, you know what, that is interesting, because and then the part that's silent is because I could see other branches that comes from that thought. It's just not fully fleshed out in the moment.
Okay. I'll give you. That's my trauma from dates that I've had with women, and I say something and then they get the interesting, and I'm like, oh, it's time to split the check. I already know. I don't need to go. I don't need to pay for the full bill. I already know. When women say interesting, I know 50-50. 50-50 on check.
Shout out
I
to
ain't
Nick.
getting. I ain't get this night ain't gonna end how I want it. 50-50 on the check.
I've seen that too. Shout out
All
to
right,
Big
man.
Bag University over on YouTube, said interesting concept. And that's my brother.
Today's word, interesting. We're gonna run it. And
Yep.
brother. All right.
So I appreciate
Interesting
Big Bag
brother came on.
for popping up, man. That's
No
my
problem, man.
actual like that is my actual brother who popped in. It's actually rare to see him on my live stream, so I give him
Is this the brother the arm wrestling brother?
no this is
Oh,
my
okay.
this is my blood brother from born from the same mother brother.
Got you. I swear that arm wrestling thing again. Thank you for posting that. That was the greatest thing that I have seen last week. With all the shit that happened last week, no, all the
Hey,
joy that I got from that. Thank you for posting that.
so did you see the other video that just got posted?
I just woke up. Uh-oh.
Okay, so there were two versions of the video. There was the
Okay.
left arm version that
Okay.
ended in a tie, and the right arm version that was actually the first recorded event that did not end in a tie. I won't spoil it. I'll just say check it out.
Oh, I'm as soon as I get off this line, I'm going right to. Oh, and I'm. Ooh.
But
Uh,
hold on.
okay.
Let me defend myself real quick.
Oh hell.
I am
Before I was
I am about to be 41 years old, and I ain't touched weights in a long time. No push-ups
okay.
in a long time, none of that. And I got challenged by a almost 30-year-old active duty Air Force dude that lifts 3 to 4 times a week, right? So I accepted the challenge, not necessarily thinking that I was gonna lose. I thought I could win, but
But
you know,
that ego, that ego got you into the situation you had no business being in.
so the first video that you saw was us doing the left arm, and we're equal in strength. So with us being equal in strength, like it looked like that was a minute, but that minute's a long, it was 45 seconds of us trying to move each other. And because we're equal in strength, I wasn't moving, he wasn't moving, our stamina gave out. The right arm videos tells a different story. Well, it starts the same, but it ends different. But
Okay.
for me, I tell people, look, I ain't lifted weights in ages. I'm a little bit older, and I believe that things would have been different if I was still in the weight room. So that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, do not fuck yourself up trying to challenge people younger than you. Okay. I'm trying to save you. I've had too many friends who have jacked their knees up playing with some freaking teenagers trying to show off and do a crossover, and they left the ACL on the right, and they went to the just leave it alone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Only men your own age, okay? Don't go
Copy,
younger. You're not gonna win. Okay.
copy that.
All right, man. We're going for the big picture. Okay. We're going for long lives.
Longevity.
Long life does not occur when you challenge young people.
Nah, I'm learning
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I'm learning that.
Let them sit on the porch and just let them know back in the day I woulda, back in the day I coulda. Just let them know, okay? You ain't got to show. Let them know. Just don't show. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right, King.
All right, Jay Wade, man. I appreciate you popping in from Germany. What time is it there? Like, what day and time is it in Germany right now?
It's actually 7 o'clock. I actually should have done a workout by now, but I woke up and saw you live, so I was like, you know what? I can postpone it.
No doubt. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time because time is valuable. This is What the Funk is this across different platforms. You post stuff still, don't you? I know it's sporadic. Like I've seen you post a funk video a couple of
I
days ago.
actually have a meeting. I'm doing a show, and I was going to get in contact with you about that. I have some people who put some money behind me, and I'm getting started this month. So I'm going to be returning, and I'm going to make a What the Funk 2 because I want to keep the channel, that one just as the music videos, and then I'm gonna have a different channel that's going to be connected to that one where it's going to be the conversations. So that should be
Okay.
coming within the first week of August. So I've already been kind of reaching out to some people, and I definitely need to get a hold of you and Michelle to connect the Black community over here with you guys over there in America and have some conversations that lead to solutions.
Let's do it. I'm with it.
All right. Awesome, man.
Man, as the people say less, fam.
Got you. Stay safe, stay blessed, and again, enjoy the memories that you've had from Japan. Get it all together. Make some music that you love and put the videos with it. Try to preserve all that you can while the trip is hot in your mind to make a good memory kind of it so you can in the future reflect.
Yes, sir.
So as it's fresh, get all the memories that you can, like write it down, make stories, tell as much as you can about this trip with each other and videotape it with each other so that in the future you can reflect on this and you'll have all that you need to remember this amazing time that you, Castle, and Michelle had together.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. No doubt, and that is coming.
All right, man.
All right, boss.
Stay easy, player.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Bye.
I always like it when Jay comes up. I was like, well, Jay and I've been connected for, has it been 2 years now? Probably about 2 years. And through that connection, we've gotten into some similar spaces. I think Jay's who is what got me and Precious connected together. The real Precious, she's taken a month off from streaming and doing her weekly live streams and stuff as she is, m- managing life and making things work out, but she still supports different content creators and stuff on the back end as well. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Jay for popping in. What the funk is this? And the real Precious as well, who I just named, because I think Jay was who put me and Precious in the same room together. But that's all I got for tonight. I actually went longer than I thought. I've been streaming for over an hour now. I'm gonna get back into my regular. So there's my gaming streaming that I'm gonna be doing that's on a separate channel or channels. I still stream on Twitch with this for my gaming, but I have a dedicated channel for gaming that I do. That's gonna be in some of the not all evenings, but most evenings with the homies, the afros, and then my just chatting stuff where I come on and talk about whatever it is that I want to talk about. I normally would do it on Wednesday nights, but I have a sports show with WTF Nation Radio that I do that was on Sundays. That's getting moved to Wednesday starting in August. So we're getting that prepped up for the new date and day of the week that's going to be streaming on. Me and my lady, we do the King and Me show where we talk about all things dating and relationships on Mondays, and that's on the King and Me show. If you look that up, it's the King and Me show on pretty much all platforms. Vote for us for America's favorite couple. Right now, there's different groups. We're first in our group that we're in right now. We're in the top 10, and that's because of y'all. So if you go to the kingandmeshow.com and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the voting campaign for America's favorite couple sponsored by Variety Magazine. And if we win first, that'll be dope. That'll be 100% dope, but we can't do it ourselves. So go to the kingandmeshow.com, scroll down, find the voting campaign for America's favorite couple, and shoot us a vote. We definitely appreciate it. As far as these live streams, I need to figure out if I'm going to make it in the mornings before I do my normal 9 to 5, or if I'm going to be able to carve out some time in the evening on certain days, because I like just coming on, grabbing the microphone, and just talking about whatever. There's value in that for me. I've heard from other people that, they'll tune in, and sometimes if I'll throw the link out there and people can come up and just kind of say what's on their mind. And I enjoy doing it, but I need to figure that out. So be tuned in, stay subscribed. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of the live streams. I'm about to end the live right now. Let me see if I got any other comments to bring up before I end. It doesn't look like I do. Do I have my show ending video here? I believe I do. So let's play my ending music.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Trumpets blare the golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder, shake the hall. Royal robe, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. Yeah.
Bring it back. Thanks for tuning in. I'm the actual King Smith. We out. Peace.
Yeah.